It's my pleasure to welcome you all to today's webinar, which is on root cause analysis and its association with CAPA investigations. First, a little context and background to get us started. One key thing is that in the pharmaceutical industry, federal regulations require that an organization have a quality system in place, which includes corrective and preventive action. Central to corrective and preventive action is the identification of causes of problems. So it's about problem solving. It's also about improvement, but you can't have improvement, you can't solve problems without getting to root causes. Now, we find frequently that the CAPA procedure finds fixes, they put them in place, but the problems reoccur. And the reason for that, pretty obvious, is that the root cause really wasn't identified in the first place. And that's generally the reason that CAPA investigations are not really successful. A way to ward against this and reduce the amount of failures of CAPA is to use a systematic approach. And that's what today's webinar is about. Central to the system that we'll talk about today is the DMAIC, Problem Solving and Improving Framework. DMAIC stands for Define, Measure, Analyze, Improve, and Control. It's 5 phases of a process improvement or a problem-solving process. It's very effective. It's been used around the world for over 20 or 25 years, and it's arguably the best available improvement framework, problem-solving framework available. So that's what we're going to talk about today, and we'll talk about why it's important, what it is, why it's important, and how to do that. So with that brief introduction, let's move along here to here's our agenda for today. And we're going to start off and talk about what is root cause analysis. Then we're going to talk about some current approaches, their strengths and limitations, and some of the tools that are used. We'll then move on to the systematic approach and talk about the roadmap for the systematic approach and the tools. And of course, as I just mentioned, we'll talk about the DMAIC problem-solving framework. We'll talk about solving system problems and integrating corrective action. We'll talk about the very important of sustaining the elimination of root causes and the importance of management review. And built right into the system that we'll talk about and built into the DMAIC approach is the whole idea of sustaining improvements over time. We'll mention a little bit about the systematic approach for deviation reduction, which is integrated right into the approach that we're talking about, and then of course there'll be the summary and conclusions at the end. So keep track of any questions or comments that you might have, and we'll deal with, as Ramesh says, at the end. Now, the first thing that we want to think about is the relationship between quality management systems, CAPA, problem solving, and root cause. If you look at a quality management system, there are many ways to define it. There's a high-level definition over here on the right-hand side. It's about process performance and product quality monitoring, corrective action and preventive action, change management system, and management review of process performance and product quality. You see right away, central to that is the whole idea of CAPA and corrective and action and preventive action. So we see, one, that CAPA is part of the quality management system, so that's an important part of it, both for problem solving and process improvement, problem solving being a reactive approach, improvement being a proactive approach. And of course, essential for CAPA to be working is that we've got to have a root cause analysis where we get to the root cause.